Good morning out there on this beautiful Tuesday morning. Just been out planting some plants, some veggies, and getting them ready. The land or the ground ready has been ready for a little while. I finally got some plants in. But one of the things I really wanted to come on and chat about was about our grounding and about the ascension we are so called in. And I understand that we're growing ourselves more and more in what we call this ascension. And I've always termed it as an ascension descension. I feel our physical body is coming into and ascending to a higher frequency to be able to anchor in our higher light body, which is us descending. So it's a descension, ascension for me. That's how I see it and what I feel. And one of the things that trip to Hawke's Bay really did clarify for me was that what we're doing in our grounding often is grounding into the old, Gaia's old body, Papatuanuku's old body, her three-dimensional realm. And that I feel is where often we get body pain. A lot of the pain from the body is amplified when we're connecting into that realm, because that is Gaia's pain body. That's her old, system. And so I feel that when you are going to ground in, connect into the higher body of her. And you might not know how to do that, but with intention, that will happen. And more I feel you will come more into balance out of your old physical pain body into your higher realm as well. The other point to this is that I fully believe we are not in an ascension process like it's like the stories, all the narrative out there is that that's what we're doing, and that this is about something coming into us. I believe we're already in it. We are the consciousness. We are the universal consciousness. And it's the universal soul consciousness that is ascending. We are in that. We're not outside of it. We're not, having this stuff coming into us. It's already us. And I feel like this is another diversion or another place that people will take it, and we do take it, as being something outside of ourselves that has to come into. It's already here. And I feel like that's a diversion, like I'm saying. It takes away, it's like saying God outside of ourselves. And so we're searching and we pray to God up there in the sky somewhere, or the heavens, or it's not outside of ourselves. And therefore this ascension process, we are in the body of the soul that is ascending. It's the universal soul. It's nothing outside of ourselves. And I really feel this is an important thing to start really focusing on and bringing yourself into the unity and the unified field of that consciousness. It's not something we need. We're hearing all this about the sun rays coming in, and it's amplifying and it's coding us and it's bringing all this information. That could be quite correct. I feel like it is. But it's not outside of us. It's not something that's coming into us. It's already in us. We are it. And like I say, to connect in and to ground into that information, what you're doing then is you're coming into a space where you are not the driver as such. That's where your service and your service really comes into play, because it's then you start being led by your universal soul consciousness, not this, not your ego, not the physical realm in any way leading you through and what we might think we need to be doing. Quite often You know, I mean, that call to the Hawke's Bay, that's how I've lived my life all my life. I've chopped out of there for a little while over the last few years because we had so much restriction. We couldn't just get up and go and do something. You know, we could to a point, you get what I'm saying, but this is how I've always lived my life. My spirit calls me to places. It calls me into the darker realms and into the denser emotional spaces to clear energy. That's what I've always done. I'm a transmuter. So if you're a transmuter, which a lot of you are, and you transmute energy, you're going to find it more difficult in your body as well. And that's why it's important not to ground into the physical, old physical body of Gaia, the three-dimensional realm of her. Papatuanuku for me, you know. So it's paying attention to where your intentions are, definitely paying attention to those, and to you know, what your body's telling you, because your body is your intelligence, your emotions are your intelligence. It's not something that we need to be shying away from. We need to really open up, and it's best for us to open up into those emotional spaces to understand what the intelligence is in there. And what we tend to do, and we have been taught to do and haven't had the tools to do, is to open up. We've been told to, we've been taught really just to shove it aside, suck it up, harden up, put a smile on your face and say, sweet as, I'm all good. When as actually, we're not all good. A lot of people aren't all good out there. There's a lot of mental switching that's happening. We're heading out of the old lower mind into the higher mind. So there's a lot of forgetfulness, a lot of information that we can't retrieve anymore. We can dig and find it, but oftentimes we're, you know, in the middle of a sentence and we forget what the next word is. We're finding our mind is leaving us more and more, and that is a good thing. A higher mind's going to come in, and it is. It's already switching over, as is the higher heart, etc., all of that. So it's time to really, I feel, pay attention to where you're grounding in, pay attention to what your body's telling you. It's always been important to do that, but I feel more and more now, it's sort of clicking out of the narratives, because there's so much story around every single thing. And the other big thing that's playing out is everyone's belief systems. Everything that you believe is a strong emotion, right? So belief is a strong thought, and it's held so strongly that it creates emotion behind it. And what those belief systems are doing is everyone will find what they believe on the planet at the moment. That information is going to be readily available for you, and no matter what it is that you believe. They're all stories, they're all the universe providing you your belief system. So if you find that there's something on this planet that you do not like that is in the system, don't put your energy into it. Pull the plug on it all and find your own way in your own life without all of that. Because until we start turning away from it, and I know that might seem like, but hang on, we have to fight it, we've got to make sure that it gets out there, that this can't be happening. That is feeding it, empowering it, making it be there more. So what we're doing is we're strengthening those things that we don't want. So the best thing to do is to pull the plug on all of the story, because like I say, every belief that you have is going to show up for you. It's going to prove to you that that's your belief and it's right. Of course it will. That's what the universe does. It responds to you and your emotion, your thought, your process of frequency. That's what it does. So it's going to show up for you all the time, giving you exactly what you believe is true for you. So I know the world is made up of story. That's what it is. History's story. It's actions, yes, put into and made into story. So this is the point in time where we decide where we want to go. Where are we heading? And I feel like there's so many that are just sort of, we're all, let's put it in that bag, we're all creating through from old story. That's what we're doing. And all of this narrative that's been running for the last 3, 4, 20, 50, 60, 65 years of my life, this narrative has been running, this story, this biblical presence that's supposed to be playing out. That's because it's ingrained in us to be the narrative. That's the story. It's been narrated to us from everywhere that we look. The Bible's brought it in years and years ago. That was man's suggestion. It's been conditioned to take us into a certain way and into a certain line and create exactly what they want us to create. We've been conditioned to do that. Now it's about changing that. It's changing the story, changing the whole thing. Let all of that go. Let it all go. We don't need to replay the story. We don't need to keep playing it out all the time, every day, all the time. It's not changing it. It's only creating more. So it's I feel very important for us to really consider where we're at and where is that taking you. Is it a productive thing that you're doing? Like, is it actually getting you into your higher being? If it's not taking you into your higher being and bringing in your highest frequency that you can be, then why would we want to be there? Why would we want to go with that narrative? And I mean, to each their own. Everyone does whatever they want. It's free will, of course. But I just feel that we're getting taken into a space, and we have been for a long time, that I feel isn't where we need to be going as a collective. And I feel that it's trapping us into a whole nother place that is sidelining what we really came in to do. That is to be present here in this ascension of our higher universal soul. That soul, that God soul, is ascending, and that God soul had to come into matter to know what it was. And each one of us is playing out a part of that or an aspect of it. And we might have a lot of similar aspects that are all playing out together, but that's what we're doing. And so important, I feel, for us to really consider where we're at, where we're heading, what is it that, where is this narrative that you're following or your beliefs that you're bringing in? And as I say, will play out on the planet to confirm for you what you believe, because that's what universe does. That's what you do as a universe. You confirm for yourself what your feelings and your vibration is. It's like when we feel shit about ourselves, we're not loving ourselves, and so what we do is we attract people that confirm that to us, treat us terribly, all those things. So this is exactly the way the universe has always worked. It's the way you as a universe works. Really, really important, I feel, to know that you are in it. You're not waiting for it to happen to you. You're in it. You are it. You are the consciousness. You don't have to turn anything on. Just know that, and that will amplify within you. It will show you how you are that universal consciousness. It'll show you more of that. It'll take you deeper. And you will live it more and more because you believe that is where you're at. As you might believe where you're at now, and that belief system is taking you into whatever it is that it's showing up in your life. If it's not what you want showing up in your life, change the narrative. Step out of there and come into that belief and the knowing of yourself being universal consciousness. You are that. So when you're in that, what you're doing is you're handing yourself over to that service. What does that universal consciousness want me to do today? How can I serve this? Where am I in it? Question yourself in those and see what shows up. And like I say, those trips, like I went down to the Hawke's Bay, that's how I get called. I get called. I have an inner knowing. That's where I have to go. So I go. And whatever that is, whatever happens there is up to this universal soul as to what I do there. It's not my thing. It's this universal God soul, whatever you want to call it, great creator, whatever, goddess for me, and so follow your inner self, not your outer. The outer realms are not there for us to, they take us away, they divert us, they take us on these different little journeys that we really don't need a lot of the time and don't make us feel good, So that's me. And if you're a transmuter, if you transmute energy, then just pay attention to your body, transmute through, but clear it as quick as you can, and ground into the higher body of Gaia, or Papatuanuku, you know. Just ground into her, into that higher body, because that is what you are. You're already that. And it just is a matter of saying that you're grounded, and that will work, you know. So, like I say, I was having a lot of hip and knee stuff, and I was having a lot of lower body stuff going on for a long time, and I couldn't work it out. There was no emotional connection to any of it. It was, for me, it kept coming back to the planet, to our earthly walk and physical stuff that was going on, and connecting in as I did, like I usually would have done exactly the same thing when I went to the Hawke's Bay, but my body totally reacted totally differently to it. I vomited, as you know. It wasn't pleasant, but I knew I was purging all this darker, denser emotion and vibration and frequency that was sitting around down there. So it's clearing, and I know, like I say, a lot of you are transmuters as well, and it impacts our physical body. But I certainly know now that that was telling me and showing me that I was, when we connect into the physical 3D realm of Gaia, of this planet, that's when our body will start really hurting and playing up and being, you know, feeling like, oh God, we need to do some healing work. And sometimes it is about the emotional memories that you might be holding and storing. But for me, I can see where a lot of people who have done a lot of their emotional work have been quite clear for it. You know, there's always something that will ride up in the now. You know, in the now we might get triggered, but that's something that is, for me now, it's in the moment, it's present right now. It's not something I have to dive into that's been, you know, 16 lifetimes back, or whatever story we might tell ourselves. So it's quick and it's easy now to just absolutely shift yourself and your frequency. And it's important to notice what your frequency is. Where are you on this planet? Are you playing out the narratives that you don't want on the planet, or are you rising above those? And I don't mean burying your head in the sand. I know it's all good to be aware of it, but it's still taking us into and holding us in that old pain body. It's memory. It's clicking more memory. It's creating more memory. It's working with the memory. The light body, your higher being light body, doesn't have that memory. It doesn't hold those memories. It doesn't hold pain. It's not about that. So it's having a choice, and I feel right now we're in a very important point of time on and in this planet consciousness that it's really important to pay attention to this. Okay, so I know there was, you know, I'm trying to reel through and gather up if there was anything else, because I know there were lots of bits to that I had pointed coming in that I'd probably forgotten to mention. But anyway, you know, just honestly remember that we love each other. That is really important, and that love comes from within. It's not something you reach out to. The same as everything else, it's not something you reach out to. It's always within you. And like I say, you are in the universal consciousness. You aren't looking for it to activate more of you. You are already it. And start living in that space, and I feel like your lives will really, if they're not already, I'm not saying everybody's in a shit place and everyone's, you know, in a shit place. I'm not saying that. It's just about tweaking maybe what we believe, because I feel those beliefs of those things activating us, and you know, the codes, new codes, I get all that, I understand all that, but I feel like that also is something that it's forever saying that outside of us coming in. That for me isn't correct. I don't feel that's the truth for me. I feel that we are already it. We are expanding it out. Okay, I'm going to leave you there. So have a beautiful, beautiful day. It's a gorgeous day here. Like I said, I've just been out planting veggies. And if you haven't sort of started that for yourself, get in and plant some veggies too, because there is going to be, I think, a little bit of, you know, the shortages. But again, story, you know, we can change it at any point. We can change it at any point. So, you know, just keep loving self, keep working on your emotional stuff, keep looking at what frequency you're actually in. Is the narratives that you're following really vibing you up, or are they vibing you down? Where are you in it? And do what you can to bring yourself out of any sort of you know, down in a sense. Find something that gives you some joy somewhere, because the joy activation now is really important as well. And I know it's sort of, you know, difficult if you look at the narratives that are running, and I get that, but this is, like I say, it's a point in time where we can shift this now and really, really change what's happening on the planet. And there's so much good stuff. We don't see a lot of that, you know. There's so much good stuff, and the focus is really on what we haven't got, what's not showing up for us right now. And that there is because the focus is actually there. What's not showing up. So you're going to get from the universe all the time a confirmation of what's not showing up. Because that's how universe works. That's how you as a universe work. So remember, you're creating every single thing that's happening in your life. It's your choice as to what comes into your life, what you do with it. It's totally your choice whether you continue, you know, having conversations with people around doom, gloom and control. Whatever the story might be, it's up to you as to whether you want to be in it or not. And only you can change it. But you are already the universal consciousness. You're already tapped in. You're already highly vibrating in a high vibrational frequency. You are already that. So be that. Be it. Alright. Much love to you all. I have a pretty full-on day today, so I'm going to get going, and I think I'll make a cup of tea before I start. Alright, lovelies. I'm so privileged and honoured to be here with you all. And I know that it's, you know, it gets a bit dicey. It does. And I know that it can be a struggle sometimes. But if we have our mind in the right place, it's pretty breezy. And magical. That's the thing it is. It's so magical. I mean, who doesn't want to play in that, really and truly? If you have a choice, where would you rather play? I know where I love playing. I think you all get that from me. But anyway, I don't need to go into that story. So lots and lots of love. Have a great day, and keep smiling. People are not smiling out there. Smile at people. And yeah, even if they look at you as if to say, well, what the hell are you smiling at me for? You know, because I know I'd get some grumpy looks when I'm smiling at people. But I just feel that will, you know, sizzle into their being and create their smile throughout the day. Alright,